Can the Americans capture much-needed supplies from the Russians? In this 20-point game, we'll find out. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. And to learn about our Kickstarter, follow the link in the description below to join our player community. We need your help to build a better game. The Americans won the role for primary player. The Russian player picked the 20-point mission Capture Supply Depot. Both players need to capture obstacles in the middle of the game board. The player who holds obstacles for 7 rounds wins. Our obstacles are set up. In this mission, there are 3 obstacles that have been chosen. They've been marked with these red dies here, here, and over here. The players will be attempting to capture those by keeping game pieces nearby without having enemy game pieces nearby. The Russian player has his squad of ratniks set up near this obstacle and his Viper set up near this obstacle. The American player has his National Guardsman here near this obstacle, and he's going to have to make his way over here to this obstacle to try to capture it from that Viper. Our Ratnik soldiers have an initiative of 15, so they will move first. They'll move forward and then embark in this building and be in a position to be able to collect a marker this turn or this round. The National Guardsmen move next with an initiative of 14, so they will embark in this building. The game piece with the next highest initiative is the Bulldog with an initiative of 4. It has a speed of 9. It can't make it over to that obstacle yet, but it's going to get as close as it can this round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The last game piece to move will be the Viper, and it's going to move just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just hide in that corner. At the end of round 1, the Russian players' Viper and Ratnik soldiers each collect 1 marker. All right, we're at the top of round 2. The Russian Ratnik soldiers have the highest initiative, and they are just going to sit tight so they can collect another marker. Okay, the National Guardsmen are up next. They have a 14 initiative. They are going to disembark from this building, run across the way here, and then embark in this building. So every one of them, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now they can collect the marker here. Next to move is the Bulldog. First thing we have to do is get within 4 of this obstacle to keep him from collecting another marker. And then we want to swing around the side so we can take pot shots at him. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. and I am not going to be able to make it over there. So I will just park right there for this turn, position me for next turn, but I am within 4, so he can't collect a marker. All right, we're going to move this Viper 1, 2, 3, 4. And now here we can see all 4 corners of the Bulldog. We're going to fire with our rail gun. It has a minimum range of 4. We're greater than 4 away. And it has a maximum range of 18 and an optimal range of 15. So we're at optimal range. We have an aim of 4, and we don't have, or he doesn't have any cover, so we need a 4. And we get an 8. So we do 6 points of damage to the Bulldog. At the end of round 2, both players collect a marker. Ratnik soldiers are just going to sit tight again. The Russians have more markers than the Americans, so the Americans are going to have to come to the Russians, so they're just going to hang here. The Americans are at a big disadvantage at this point. The Russians have collected 3 markers. The Americans only have 1. Unless the Americans do something aggressively, the Russians are just going to collect more markers over the next few turns and win. So what we're going to have to do is we can't fire at this building because that's one of the rules in the mission. So we're just going to have to bum rush the building and hope that we can survive and take out the Ratniks. I doubt it's going to work, but it's about the only thing we can do to try to win the game. So they'll run, and that will allow them to get all the way up to base contact with this building here, and that will set them up so that they can board that building next round. Now it's the Bulldogs' turn. Last round, the laser gun was damaged. So it has a 3-point weapon left, but it doesn't have the 2 damage weapon left. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can see all 4 corners. So we will fire. We've got a 4 aim. So we do 6. So we do 3 points of damage to the Viper. And then we'll move back 1, 2, 3. All right, this is the end of round 3. The Viper is the last game piece to move. It will move 1. And now it will be able to see all 4 corners on the Bulldog. So it will fire its railgun. It has a aim of 4. It gets a 5. So it does another 6 points to the Bulldog. So that last hit from the Viper put the Bulldog into reactor overload. So we need to roll to see in how many turns it's going to blow up. So 2, but it counts down at the end step, which means at the end of this round, the Bulldog is going to blow up. So luckily, the Viper is already far enough away that it won't get damaged, but still we'll move it out of the way here. So we are now at the end of the round. It's the end step. This die moves to a 1, which means that this blows up and is removed from the board. Now, in a normal game, this building would be damaged, but because of the game rules on this mission, this building can't be damaged. At the end of round 3, both players collect another marker. We're in the start step of the next round. The National Guardsmen are going to declare a boarding action. When they do, Private Lewis, the Grenadier, before the attacks are made, gets to inflict 1 point of damage to 2 different models inside the building from the defender. So let's say a roll of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6 is a reroll. So 4. So we did damage to the shield breacher. And again, 2. So we did damage to the minigunner. Now, the Russians get to attack. Okay, first the generic Ratnik soldier into the Grenadier. He needs a 3, and he gets a 3, so he's removed from the game. Now, the squad leader into one of the generic guys, he needs a 2 and gets a 6. So the generic guy is gone. Next, we'll do the breacher into the other generic guy. The breacher needs a 3 and gets a 2, so that guy survives. And then last, the minigunner needs 6s. He gets 3 rolls, and he's going to shoot at the most dangerous guy in the National Guard's squad, and that is Machine Gun Kelly. So he needs 6s, and he gets 1, 8. So Kelly takes 1 and only has 1, so Kelly is gone. Things aren't looking too good for the Americans. And the last piece to move this round is the Viper, and it is already in position to be able to take that token from this objective, so it's just going to sit tight. Okay, this is the top of the next round, probably the final round of the game. We're in the start step. The boarding action that the National Guardsmen started last round will continue. The National Guardsmen will be able to attack this turn, but they have a 14 initiative. All 4 of the Ratnik soldiers have a 15 initiative, which means that the Ratnik soldiers will all get to go first. So let's see how this turns out. Let's do the machine, or the minigunner into the squad leader. Gets 2 hits, so the squad leader's gone. Now we'll do the breacher into the last guy. He gets a 10, so he's gone. Boarding action done, and game over. The Russians will be able to collect more tokens as the game progresses than the Americans will be able to. This game was pretty lopsided. The Americans made a critical mistake early that I believe cost them the win. Here in round 2, the Americans got impatient and tried to do too much in one round. They had moved the Bulldog forward and blocked the Russians from claiming this objective this round. That was good. But when they moved around the corner of the building, they gave the Russians the ability to shoot at and damage the Bulldog, at the end of round 2. Had they hid behind the building, still blocking the Russians from owning the objective, they could have come around the building on turn 3 and shot for 5 damage. The Bulldog wouldn't have had the speed to get back to cover, so it would still have taken damage from the Viper's railgun. But now the Viper is 1 shot from a reactor overload. The Bulldog could have shot on round 4, moved back around the building so it couldn't be attacked, and waited until the Viper blew up. Then the Bulldog could have captured that objective without opposition and collected a marker every round for the rest of the game. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. If you'd like updates on our Kickstarter, please follow the link in the description below and subscribe to our newsletter. If you liked this video, please subscribe to our channel and leave us a comment below. We need your help to build a better game.